Hi, welcome to my video on Find the Least Common Denominator of Rational Expressions, Part 3. In this video, we will look at the monomials and the binomials at the same time to pick out the LCD. Find the LCD. What if the denominators have monomials and or binomials algebraic expressions? So let's find the LCD of each for let's do some examples. So I have a monomial of a 2 and I have a binomial of x plus 3. So the LCD must be 2 times x plus 3. 2 is in here and x plus 3 is in here as factors. B, I have a monomial of an x. I have a binomial of x minus 2. They're two different factors, so the LCD is the product of these two. So x is in here as x minus 2 is here. C, I have a 3x, so I have to have the 3 and the x, and I have to have an x minus 2. So the LCD is 3x times x minus 2. 3 is a factor, x is a factor, x minus 2 is a factor. Let's check. Is 3x in this denominator, in this expression? Yes, right there. Is 3 in here? Yes. Is x minus 2 here? Yes. So the LCD is 3x times x minus 2. Each denominator is represented in here. And we look at D. We got denominators of 3 times x plus 2, 5 times x plus 2. We got to have a 3. We have to have a 5. And we have to have an x plus 2. So the LCD is 15 times x plus 2. So a common denominator for 3 and 5 is 15. So I have to have a 3, I have to have a 5, and I have to have an x plus 2. So 15 times x plus 2 is the LCD. 3 is in 15, x plus 2 is right here. 5 is in 15, x plus 2 is right there. E, common denominator, let's see. I have to have a 3. I have to have a x minus 1. I have 3 that's I just put here is already there, and I have to have an x minus 6. So that's the LCD. 3 times x minus 1 times x minus 6. The 3 is right here, x minus 1 is there. The 3 that I have here is right there, and the x minus 6 is right there. So 3 times x minus 1 times x minus 6. Again, each denominator, this denominator is in here, there it is, these two. This denominator is in here, there, and there. F, common denominator for 3 and 2 is 6. I have to have a 3 and a 2, so 6 is my LCD. I have to have an x plus 1 as a factor because it's there and there. But the highest power of x plus 1 is a 2. So that's my LCD, 6 times x plus 1 squared. The 3 is in 6, yes. X plus 1 is right there. The 2 is in 6, yes. X plus 1 squared is right there. So that's the LCD for these two. G, I have to have an x. I have to have an x minus 2. I have to have the 3. X minus 2 is already there. The 3x is already there. So that's the LCD for these denominators. Check. Is x here? Yes. X minus 2? Yes. Is 3 here? Yes. X minus 2? Yes. Is 3x in this LCD? Yes. So every denominator is represented here. And the LCD for 5 and 10 is a 10. I have to have an x plus 3. And I have the 10 is there, the x plus 3 is there, and I have to have the x minus 4. So that's the LCD. 5 is in 10, yes. X plus 3 is right there. 10 is in here, yes. X plus 3 is here, and x minus 4 is there. In other words, this denominator has all of it because 5 and x plus 3 is in this denominator. So that is the LCD right there. This is a part of it. I. Here we go. What do I have? I have an x plus 1 as a factor. I have x minus 1 as a factor. X is not here, so I'll put it right here. I have an x plus 1 as a factor. I have an x as a factor. I have x minus 1 as a factor. Now I go through. The highest power of x is 1. Highest power of x plus 1. That's a 1. That's a 2, so I need a square. X minus 1 got a 1 power. X minus 1 got a 1 power. And the x got a 1 power. So this is the LCD. X plus 1, right there. X minus 1, right there. X is there. X plus 1 squared is right there. X is here. X minus 1 is here. So picking out the LCD is easy when you understand what you're doing. You pick out each factor and the highest exponent or power. Remember, every denominator has to be represented by the LCD. Practice, here we go. Number 1, 6x and x minus 1. 6x is in this denominator, and what's in this one that's not here? X minus 1. So 6x times x minus 1 is the LCD. 6x is right here. X minus 1 is right here. So there's the LCD. I have to have the 4. I have to have the x plus 1. So that denominator has to be here. So what's in this denominator that's not here? Nothing. This is the LCD for both of them because x plus 1 is already there. And I have to have this denominator got a 5x, so that goes down. So what's in this denominator that's not there? The 5 is already there, so the x plus 3. So that's the LCD y. 5x is right here, and the 5 is right there, and the x plus 3 is right there, so there's the LCD for these two. And I have to have the first one. I have to have the 7. I have to have the x minus 2. The 7 is already there, and the x minus 3 is not there. So there's the LCD for these two. 7 is here, x minus 2 is here. The 7 here is right there, x minus 3 is right there. So this is the LCD for these two. I have to have a 3, and I have to have an x minus 6. 5 is not there, so I'll put the 5 right there. And the x minus 6 is there, so the LCD is 15 times x minus 6. So common denominator for 3 and 5 is 15, and the x minus 6. So 3 is right there, 3 times 5. X minus 6 is right here. 5 is in here, 5 times 3, and x minus 6. So this is the LCD. And remember, I have to take I have to take the x, have to take the x minus 4. The first denominator has to go here. What's in this one? This is 2 times x. The x is right there, but the 2 is not. So if I put the 2 there, now that's the LCD. Why? Because x is right there, x minus 4 is right there, and the 2x is right there. So that's the LCD. Number 7, I have to have x minus 1. I have to have x minus 7. Then I say, well, the 3 is not there, so I got to put the 3 in front. X minus 1 is already there, so the LCD is 3 times x minus 1 times x minus 7. Let's check. Is this denominator in this LCD? Yes, it's right there. Is 3 times x minus 1 in here? Yes, it's there and there. So that's the LCD. Number 8, I have to take the first denominator, which is x, and x minus 2, two different factors. What's in this one that's not here? Well, the x that's here is represented right there, and the x minus 6 got to go down because it's not there. So this denominator is right there, and this denominator is there and there. So that's the LCD. Here we go with number 9. We have a 5. And again, if you want, you could say, you got to be careful now when you're dealing with your power. So if I take the 5, and I take the x plus 3, and notice I have to have an x. So if I put x right there in front, I got the x plus 3, and the 5x is right there. So the LCD is 5x times x minus 3. So notice we have to have a 5. There it is. We have to have an x plus 3. But what I didn't do, I got x plus 3 as a 1 power. I got x plus 3 as a second power. So I have to have 2, because the highest power has, the highest exponent has to be represented. So x plus 3 is there twice, but 2 is the highest power. So it's 5x times x plus 3. Let's check. This is the way you check it. Is 5 in this LCD? Yes. Is x plus 3 squared there? Yes. That's the way to check it. Is x in this LCD? Yes. Is x plus 3 there? Yes. Is 5 there? Yes. Is x there? Yes. So every denominator going through here is in here. So if I just missed the 2 by checking, I would see that I didn't have the 2 squared. I didn't have the x plus 3 squared, so I would have put the square in. And number 10, I have to have, let's look at the numbers. Numbers are easy to deal with. 4, 3, and 6. An LCD for 4, 3, and 6. Well, rather than, if you know what it is, write it down. An LCD for 4, 3, and 6 is 12. 12 is a multiple of 4, 3, and 6. In other words, 4 is in 12, 3 is in 12, 6 is in 12. Remember, least common denominator is like the least common multiple. And we have to have an x minus 2. We have to have an x minus 3. X minus 3 is there. X minus 2 is there. X minus 3 is there. So now we look at it. X minus 2, 1 power. X minus 2, 4th power. So we have to have the 4. X minus 3 is a 1 power, a square power, and a 1 power. So we have to have the 2. So there's the LCD. 12 times x minus 2 to the 4th, x minus 3 squared. And that 1, well, that 1 really, you could take that away there. That's just 1x, so it's just, don't need it. So check. Is the 4 in here? Yes. X minus 2 here? Yes. Is x minus 3? Yes. Is the 3 as a factor? Yes. X minus 3 squared? Yes. Is the 6? Yes. As a factor of 12? Yes. X minus 2 to the 4th? Yes. X minus 3? Yes, is right there. So every denominator is represented here. So that's how you find the LCD of different fractions. Again, the pattern, find each factor, write it down. Each one has to be represented, and then you take the highest exponent. If you like my video, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell. Visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. And that's the content that I have on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Bye-bye.